In today's video, as we move forward with 2023, I'd like to discuss visions and desires. First of all, I'd like to thank you for blessing my life in 2022. Every day, I get to wake up with purpose and put together these discussions, and we get to enjoy them and mutually benefit from them. I see the student and teacher as one. We are both the student and teacher to each other. And it is my earnest desire that you as well get to live how you truly want to live. You get to listen to yourself. You get to decide how your life is going to be. And you get to live beyond any doubt. And you get to enjoy every area of your life exactly the way that you want. In 2013, when I started this channel, I also made a decision to move into business consulting, to transition away from my IT business. A large IT company that had taken over a number of my clients also inquired about working together in further partnership. I decided not to go down that route because what I discovered from having that business was what I really enjoyed doing was working with teams, one-on-one with the entrepreneurs, and having conversations. Beyond the IT infrastructure, we talk about leadership and having a vision for the business, vision for the entrepreneur, vision for each person on the team, and connecting and relating all these visions together towards a definite chief aim. So when I first started directly working with others and setting their visions, I had a very cut-dry, uninspirational, not so much as stimulating an approach. And it went something like this. Hey, let's come up with what you want to do. Here's how we go and do it. And they would agree. And when they showed up again, what I found was many of them wouldn't implement the things that we discussed. And so this for me in the earlier stages was a source of frustration. And what I ended up finding, which is, again, ringing true to the philosophy of what we discuss here, is I change myself and how I relate to them, and they reflect that change, some way, somehow, in their own way. So rather than approaching it from the perspective of, I know what to do because I've done it before and here's how to do it, what actually worked was to have encouraging and inspirational conversations, to acknowledge that they are already their ideal now. By being in that state, you automatically acknowledge the ideal in them. This nuanced variation made the world of difference as their businesses started to grow rapidly. So let's talk about visions. We have here the Robert Dilts logical levels, which I love working with. Number one, we have vision on the top. Then we have identity, we have values and beliefs, capabilities, behaviors, and environments. The goal is to have a conversation, to bring ourselves into a place where we can reveal within our imagination what we desire. I believe that people already know what they want. And then there's certain moments in their lives where they feel inspired. Maybe it's a certain experience. Maybe it's a certain conversation. Maybe they're in solitude. During that time, they understand what their desires mean. Their desire seems to stimulate in their mind's eye what they already know that they're going to experience. This is a very important distinction. I believe that each person already knows, and the visions serve as a guide as to what they're already going to achieve. Now, the moment a person fuses with that vision, the formless self, I, awareness, fuses with that vision, everything changes from that point onwards. Their identity changes, how they see themselves in relationship with others, how they see themselves in relationship with environments, circumstance, information changes. They'll also notice what they value in life and what they believe could change, it could not change. The answer is it depends. And you know inside. Their capabilities get cultivated. They may have some inspiration. They say, you know what? I'm going to go learn how to speak publicly. They may or may not. That's really up to them to decide. I talk about my experiences and what has been helpful for me. And they find their own ways, which could be the same way or a variation of that way or a radically different way. This is the beautiful thing about the vision. The vision is complete. Each person who commits to a vision inside discovers their own way of realizing that vision. Same is to be said about behaviors, what they do, what they don't do. They know all this stuff inside because reality is inside and the outside is a reflection, a bridge of incidents, a seeming journey to realizing that vision. The same is to be said about environments. So let's expand upon this further and relate it over to your vision of 2023, which again, you already know what it is. And as you allow yourself to remain inspired, the vision presents itself with vivid clarity in your imagination. And when you see it, you'll say, I am that. That is who I am. And at that moment, everything begins to change. All of these things change. So in recap, on the top you have vision. Then you have your identity, how you see yourself and how you see yourself in relation to people, environment, circumstance, and information. Values and beliefs. You'll notice, from my experience as well, in different visions, you may have different values and beliefs. Certain ones like love, harmony, they end up remaining because that's the core of who you are in awareness. Capabilities, skills, behaviors, what to do, what not to do, how to relate them, how to change them, all flow naturally via intuition from that vision. So let's explore these further. Number one, you have vision. So something that has been really helpful for me, and if you're a student of my Subconscious Mind program, you know I put emphasis on this, is what I like to do is I like to look at different areas of my life, and you can segment them whatever way you'd like. The way I like to do it is career, business, spiritual, financial, social, family, intellectual, and physical, and relate them all to my vision, and relate my vision to all of these, and relate all of these to each other. This brings forth a feeling of consistency and congruence. And when a person lives in congruence in all areas of their life in relationship with their vision, it's easy, automatic, and natural for them to maintain a flow-based journey to realizing their vision. So here are some ideas to keep into consideration for your vision in 2023. Now, my style of doing things is to relate all of these together. You could pick one of these areas or a few areas or relate them all together if you'd like. I personally enjoy integrating and encouraging all these areas in my vision for the year. So career and business, perhaps increased professional knowledge or experiences, such as sales skills, marketing skills, innovation, communication, learning. Increasing your earnings, cultivating new or existing skills. And in relation with this, new skills, the way I like to look at this is it may be new to the existing vision. However, you might notice, like I do, a familiarness to this new skill. It feels like it's part of my purpose to encourage this skill. For example, when I was in corporate IT, one of the skills that I learned was how to relate with time, how to set up my day, how to prioritize. And that particular skill helped me in my IT business. And in my IT business, I further encourage the sales skills, the marketing skills, the innovation skills, the communication skills. And my relationship with time and my relationship in these areas here ends up contributing to what I talk about, how I go about saying it, and maintaining consistency of releasing these videos. And career and business can also mean moving into a new position or leadership role. Now, as we continue this discussion, it's important to emphasize that this is about revealing what you want, your vision. It may be one of these things. It might be a variation of one of these things, or it could be something distinct. Follow your heart and intuition. Live how you really want to live. Everything else is secondary while we are inspiring and committing to what we desire in imagination. Because as mentioned here, when you commit to something, everything changes in ways that you might know, in ways that you might not know, or a combination of ways that you know or don't know. Leave that all to a power higher than the current intellect. Our responsibility is to allow the desire to stimulate the vision. And so we have spiritual. And what I'd like to emphasize is spiritual is an individualized relationship. It's your relationship with the infinite within. And some of the areas for 2023, which further inspires this inner relationship, could be relating with your faith community, volunteering or helping others, meditation, self-reflection and journaling, enjoying moments in solitude and nature, focusing on your hobbies and skills. For me, I consider the entrepreneurial path as a spiritual path. The desires and visions are sacred. They are promises of what I will one day realize. Because as I reflect back on my journey, I realized that so much of how everything worked out happened in ways that I didn't consciously know at the time. However, people showed up, information showed up, experiences showed up, which upon connecting the dots looking backwards, seemed like they were placed there. So I would release the beliefs of control and allow things to happen naturally. And then we have financial. So over the years of working with many thousands of individuals and having many conversations, I found that by simplifying it in the following 3 categories, it was very helpful. Number 1 is the ability to earn more, increasing your monthly income or yearly income. Number 2, enjoying your lifestyle, whatever lifestyle that you want. I trust that one of the reasons why we set financial goals, so that we could work with finances to create a life that we enjoy for ourselves and those that we love, as well as contribute to the well-being of this world. And in that second category, I also like to put saving. So for example, if someone earns $20,000 a month, they may utilize $8,000 or $10,000 for their lifestyle, and the rest of it they can save. Which brings me to number 3, investing in whatever kind of investment vehicles you like. Personally, I like highly liquid investments or reinvesting back in business. So number 1, earning more. Number 2, enjoying your lifestyle from your earnings, which also includes saving. And then number 3, investing. So again, this conversation is designed to inspire based on what you desire. So it would actually be beneficial to revisit this video regularly, maybe on a monthly basis all throughout the year. These are examples that I've worked with and others have worked with. And what I found to be very helpful is have these high-level categories. Then we have family. So expanding your family. Perhaps you're planning on having kids this year. I also have growing your relationship with family. So this can be a great opportunity to apply our Neville Goddard revision conversations that we've been having, so we can evolve our relationships with our family as a result of working with this information, which has been very beneficial for me. Then we have intellectual. Could be certain courses you wanted to attend, seminars, trainings, books, school, masterminds, having inspiring conversations with others to further expand your knowledge and understanding on certain subjects, on certain areas of interest. Which brings me to social, dating life, friendships, existing relationships, meeting new people, attending more gatherings or events or specific kinds of gatherings in which you're looking to start new relationships with those that have similar interests with you. Travel, another one of my favorite things to do. I travel a lot. I find that travel stimulates creativity, helps me understand what my desires are revealing to me, stimulates visions, inspiration in all of these areas here. I mentioned in 2017, I realized that it was important for me to make flow a priority, which when I look back at my life, I realized that that was when I was the happiest, joyful, most productive, earning the most, enjoying relationships more, having a lot of fun, was while I was indirectly prioritizing flow. Now, however, I make it a priority. And I experienced that realization while I was traveling. And so we also have physical. Fitness goals, health goals, maybe there's certain sports you want to take up. I eventually want to learn how to surf, speaking of flow. So these are some ideas for your vision, and we're going to weave this all together in a moment. So it's important, as I had mentioned, that when you have a vision which is stimulated by what you desire, which you allow yourself to imagine what you want, go beyond any doubt, opinions, or programming and allow yourself to understand what you desire. Understand what you desire. Allow that desire to stimulate in your imagination. Visions, I consider them to be prophecies of what you will one day experience. And it's beneficial to bring this information to a mastermind or have a conversation with one of your friends regarding this. Dedicate moments in solitude where you can reflect upon this information and release any rigidity thinking in mind. And do whatever it takes. For me, it's a high priority to listen to myself, to trust myself, to understand myself, to know what I desire, and commit to what I desire. Because all of these areas, vision, identity, values and beliefs, capabilities, behaviors, environments, the different categories, career, business, spiritual, financial, social, family, intellectual, physical. Again, you can work with these categories or your own categories, all flow naturally from your authentic way of being. So now let's relate this all together. So 3 important areas for me when it comes to putting together a vision for the year. Number 1, that my vision incorporates self-realization and self-actualization, and encompassing and relating all the areas of my life together. All those categories, relating them all together. Self-realizing is know thyself. Self-actualizing is expressing thyself, allowing yourself to be how you truly desire to be. Living as an embodiment, the symbol, living how you truly want to live. As I mentioned in the story earlier, it would have been a great opportunity to partner with this tech company. However, it was very apparent. I remember they brought me in on one of their deals in which I was working with their team and one of their clients. And we found we weren't gelling on certain perspectives in relation to servicing that client. And I remember one of the founders saying to me, "You know, Joseph, you're a wild horse and I wouldn't even try to tame you." And it was a sign. And the sign wasn't that I wasn't capable enough of doing this deal with them. He very well knew that I was capable of doing it. However, I know myself as we continue to know ourselves more on this journey. If I do something that I don't want to do, I'll break myself out of any self-made prison that I had unconsciously placed myself in. Go after exactly what you desire. I find that everything works itself out. I found that we are divinely designed to be this way, to be how we truly desire to be, to realize ourselves and actualize ourselves. And we'll find as we do this that it'll encompass all those other areas. As I mentioned, you could work with it as a guide and look at all these areas, including the values and beliefs, capabilities, behaviors, and environment. What you'll find is all of these things flow naturally when you commit to a vision and you allow things to unfold naturally. All of it is taken care of by a power beyond the current understanding of this world, which makes a lot of sense. We pick a vision. There's a sense of unknown, a sense of curiosity, and we love it because by stepping into the unknown, which is simply committing to what we desire, we have an exciting adventure. As I look back at my life and I look back at this channel over the last 10 years, I have so many experiences, meeting so many people from this channel, having so many amazing conversations. And those of you that met me know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. We always have fun, we always have a great time, and that's how I'd like to encourage the journey for everyone. And that's my earnest desire, to encourage everybody this year, in 2023, to set your vision for exactly what you want. It's who you're going to become anyways. You might as well accept it. The forces of nature are on your side. Number 2, clarity. So by reflecting upon the DILTS model here and looking at these different areas and having these kinds of conversations, it brings forth a heightened degree of clarity. Number 3, inspiring and stimulating. So this is where I relate to a desire. And when I go back to my experience earlier, I mentioned that when I started consulting, it was more from the perspective of I already did it and now I'm going to teach them how to do it. When in actuality, the student and teacher are one. Everybody that shows up in our lives is the greatest teacher. Who's the greatest teacher? The person that's in front of you wherever you go. We also recognize that we are their teacher. And what flows from that state is a natural conversation. Sometimes I don't say anything, and they reconnect themselves back to their vision. At that point, they have the clarity. At that point, they realize themselves. At that point, they actualize themselves. They see everything as related in that moment, and they're in their flow. And if I do, it's a very laid-back, flow, blissful conversation, because we change ourselves. We encourage how we truly desire to be, and others reflect that change. If you're going to commit to something in 2023, allow your desires to stimulate your vision. You know, William Walker Atkinson, he was an advocate for stimulating desire. Some people travel, they have conversations, or they engage in activities that fan their flames inside, as Rumi had said, and I brought this up in the last video. Seek those that fan your flames. So again, this is nuanced. If a person doesn't have any desire, they can discover ways to stimulate that desire. If a person has a burning desire, like Napoleon Hill had mentioned, they can channel that energy towards creativity, imagination, a vision, which will reveal what is going to happen anyways. Only now there's a congruence, and the vision and desire is one, like the student and teacher is one. So 3 important areas when I set a vision: self-realizing, self-actualizing, and encompassing. Number 2, clarity. Number 3, inspiring and stimulating. And so here are 5 ways we can relate them all together into a concise vision for 2023. As a matter of fact, I'm holding in my hand right now my Definite Chief Aim card, which I learned from Think and Grow Rich and Earl Nightingale, who had mentioned to write down on a card your vision and carry it with you wherever you go. Now, some might consider this a little old school. However, I've been doing this since 2004. Every card that I've ever created since 2004, everything has happened. Everything was brought into existence. So as I looked at this card at the start of this week, I realized that I achieved all of these goals. And I also wrote at the end of the card, I said, and I'm excited for the years to come because I know everything will get even better. So in celebration, I'm going to pull this card up to the mic, knowing that everything has been achieved. Sometimes I keep these cards. I have some of my older cards. But in celebration, I'm going to tear it, and I'm going to create a new one for this year with you. So there it is. We're moving on to 2023. Here are 5 ways that you can do it. Number 1 is to take these 7 areas and weave them all into one. You could pick one of these areas, you could pick a few of these areas, or you could pick all of them, whatever you'd like, and create a statement or a paragraph. It could be something like, in 2023, I achieved my fitness goal of whatever. I also received my certification in whatever kind of program that you're taking. My family relationships continue to improve considerably. You could be specific or general, whatever you'd like. I have a great group of friends that I get to hang out with every weekend. I make X amount of dollars a month, or you could do what I like to do, which is I have X amount of dollars now saved and invested. Spiritual, meditation, deeper relationship with the divine, career and business. I'm now in a management position. So if I was to freestyle weave these all together, you could say, I realize that I already am my ideal now. I make X amount of dollars a month, in harmony with deepening my relationship to the infinite world within. I continue to earn a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with mutual integrity and benefit, while saving and investing most of it. Everywhere I go, I meet interesting people who I get to enjoy life experiences with. My family reflects the love within me as I reflect the love within them. I notice that powerful information shows up in interesting ways, which I apply to different areas of my life. I do this all by feeling and expressing my best self while in flow. Number 2, you could do one of the cards like I mentioned here. You can say, by this date, I will have in my possession, and you can put the date and amount. My personal life is, and you can describe your personal life. My mental diet is on point. My health and fitness is, and you can define it. And you can add the statement, which I've been adding for many years to my Definite Chief Aim. All of this happens while living in flow. Number 3, you can simplify it to financial goal. I earn X a month or year doing what I love to do from a place of flow. Or we can work with the Dr. Millikan autosuggestion that Neville had shared. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. Or you could simplify it even further if you'd like. I live in flow, bliss, and ecstasy. So whatever you'd like, you can make it as abstract or granular. All of these things imply the same thing, which is that you already know what you want. You can clarify it if you'd like and set a conscious intention for 2023. You already know how to get there because as you maintain your state, which is one with the vision, everything happens naturally. And all these areas like skills, behaviors, environments tend to naturally flow, naturally evolve to reflect that vision. Or you could keep it very simple, live in flow, bliss, ecstasy, which is what I make a priority because we know that all of these things happen naturally and authentically as we make being the core that we are a priority. So allow your desires to stimulate your vision. Allow yourself to be how you really want to be. Do what you love to do. Follow your heart and intuition for 2023. As I had mentioned, I found that by being the way that we authentically desire to be, other people in our presence, our friends, our family, those that we work with, seem to show up and change in front of your presence. A lot of times you won't even say anything because all minds are one mind and we are all related. The I, awareness, is made up of a fellowship in which we are all part of. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. We can say, self-realization and self-actualization is my greatest desire. Visions reveal themselves in my imagination of what I shall one day experience. Upon experiencing it in my imagination as the reality now, everything changes naturally, authentically, effortlessly, and blissfully to realize how I truly desire to be. Others show up, information shows up, environments, behaviors, capabilities rearranged, if needed, to reflect my vision, all done for me by the infinite power that dwells within me. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.